Welcome back to Bloodstained SUPERKICKS. Let's get back into it here. We're going to go into the caves. We're going to become filthy, stupid rich. That's actually not true. We're going to have probably just barely enough gold to make this work. The caves are kind of an optional area early on. I mean, you do have to go through some portions of them eventually, but the area we're in is a kind of optional area that you don't have to go through now or ever. Hey, what's up, Shovel Knight? Shovel Knight's another one of those monsters where the hitbox on him when he turns around just seems very strange. And I take a lot of Shovel Knight hits that I don't think I ought to have taken, unfortunately. So here's the spot where the Under-Twa kick is going to come in real handy. I'm going to walk off the waterfall and do it over here to the right, which gets me to this ledge. The only other way to get to this ledge would be to use the double jump. So in the earliest routes that I had for this SUPERKICKS run, I didn't come and come to this area until I got the double jump, which doesn't happen for a few levels yet. Which means I had to fight a few bosses in a much more difficult fashion. But that's 5,000 gold. That's not nothing. Like, we're not going to sneeze at that at all. We're going to hop in this chair. The chair's going to hop up here. I mean, Silver Knight's going to stab it first. Silver Knight knew it was happening. Was trying to save us from ourselves. Go ahead and grab some curry. We're not going to use these recipes at all ever, but why not grab them if they're right there? However, in this room, and this is where the magic of the routing really came into focus, is this critical ring, which I think we want to replace the stone mask. Yeah. Actually, I'm not sure now. Yeah, the stone masks, and our defense doesn't go down at all. That increases how often we'll get critical hits. And in the earliest routes, like, I wanted this critical ring early, and I wanted the 5,000 gold from Benjamin there in the wall. How he ended up there with a waystone rather than back in town, I don't know. When I use a waystone, I always end up back in town. Benjamin, not so much. But like, what am I going to do? Come down here for the critical ring and then backtrack again later when I get the double jump, which happens in, like 1 or 2 dungeons from now? Like, ah. But, it turns out, because I'm doing SUPERKICKS and not some other weapon type, I can use the Under-Twa kicks to get across the waterfall, and it's just magnificent. Is there a broken wall behind this Shovel Knight? Speaking of knights, why isn't my Silver Knight down here helping? He's up there with that Blair. And it's like, you know what? This is the dangerous foe down here. Yes. Just an MP up. MP up is marginally more useful than ammo capacity up. I didn't know that ledge was going to break going up there, so I guess we're going up the other way, aren't we? Which is more infested with toads. He got both of those bats for me, though. Good looking out, my brother. That was an excellent jump. And I'm sure you all agree that jump was flavorful-tastic. I was hoping this demon would be dead by now. I don't really have a way to jump up on him. There he goes. But this is another area of the game where you can run your health out a lot if you're not careful. I think we actually need that item, though, that steel equipment recipe book. That's what we're finding. Any item you find with an R behind it like that is a recipe book. We can take that to Johannes, and he will craft new stuff for us. And I think there might be, like, recipe dependencies. Like, we're not going to make anything with steel, but we do need to make something with Damascus later. which I think you need the steel recipe book to get access to the Damascus recipes. Anyway. Oh, I didn't mean to kick over your head there. I wanted to... I was trying to land on the ground and duck as soon as I landed so I could do some sweep kicks against him. Instead, she decided to do her mid-air kick. The first step of her un, deux, trois. What we really want to see out of these blue chests here... I mean, 100 gold isn't great out of those chests. We're really looking for... You can find gems, emeralds, rubies, and sapphires in these chests. Which are worth some money. The different color chests do matter. The brown chests are like consumable items. This toad is making a fool out of me. And my silver knight just does not care. Like, doesn't care at all. Yeah, the brown chests are just consumable items. They only open once over the course of a run. The blue chests have crafting mats in them. Ruby and sapphire, that's good. Those actually respawn if you leave an area and come back. So you can get those over and over again. It's one of the ways that you farm for crafting materials. If you have specific equipment or shards that you want to make. Fortunately, if we can survive this next room up here, there's an HP max upgrade, which will refill our health. We got to get through Shovel Knight first. I think we'll grab the refill before we fight the second one here. Here we go. Good stuff. I was hoping this boar would be dead by now. What ends up happening is sometimes the Silver Knight will just start doing his, like, crazy stab flurry against a boar and just get them pinned up against the wall so they can't ricochet off the wall and damage you. But that time he decided to not do that. This man's just chucking boars at us. That's not cool. Oh, you know what? I need to go to the wall over here. Yeah, this is an important wall to break. That thing's worth $1,000 when we sell it, give or take. Demon's dead. We've done 4 demons now. That's required for the kill quests. But yeah, the Shovel Knights, when they turn around, the animation where they turn around, their big, like, pauldrons on their shoulders have a tendency to get into your hitbox. This is one of my favorite rooms in the game. This is where we're going to engage in some boar juggling. We're going to juggle them all the way up this hill. Unless they come flying out of nowhere like that, which does happen from time to time. And that's just about it for the cave section. So the caves actually link up to lots of different areas in the main castle. Like, we're linked to the well in the garden, which is the first entrance you can reach, to this door way back in the entrance, which we could open this up and this becomes like a shortcut, but instead we're going to use a waystone and warp back to Arvantville. Now, if we got lucky enough with the shard drops, let's turn in what kill quests we can. There's some steel we can sell. But yeah, if we got lucky enough with the shard drops, we can go over here to Dominique, sell pretty much all the shards. I don't think we have to... Yeah, we don't have any shards yet worth keeping. So 4 of these can go. 2 summon bats, summon Garamon, shovel armor, plume parma. All of this needs to go. That gets us to 13.8. And now we'll sell from the bottom up. So the voice changer can go. We got 2 shovel drops. That's not bad. Rose ring, spiral sword, the U sword, all of this hemp. Crafting materials tend to get the best price just because you end up selling them in bulk. The lethal boots we have to hold on to. The steel, I need some of this. So I'm only selling 5. We do need some steel for later. We're not using any more. Durable leather, all the obsidian can go. That gets us to 24,000. And now we can buy a 16-bit coin, which lets us upgrade our blue skies. This is really early in the game for upgrading the weapon like this.
What are we transmuting this time?
In fact, if you have a sense of like the boss order in the game, the first couple runs of this, I didn't actually do this upgrading until after Bloodless, which made for a much more difficult game. But we've just basically doubled our attack power with that little excursion into the caves, plus the bonus, the kind of intangible bonus that we get from having extra critical hits. So now, let's see what Harry likes. Oh, I'm sorry, did you die in one kick, and you're going to die in one kick from now until the entire rest of the game? Sorry about your luck, buddy. Alright, warp back to the garden. And head on to the next area and get some important power-ups. Probably the most important power-up in terms of damage output in the entire game. More important than any of the weapon upgrades we're going to get, or shards that we're going to get later, or any crafting we're going to do. I'm really excited. I have to kill the fairies when I go. I have to, I'm sorry. I'm actually going to go down here to grab a couple extra map tiles. I don't think map tiles actually come in useful in this run, to be honest, but whatever. It takes no time to grab them, and having a filled out map makes me happy. Oh, now I can kill toads in one hit. Excellent. So that whole underground area would be much better if I went back now. I'm not going to, but I'm just saying it would be better. Actually, there's a wall here that I should have went before I went underground. 500 bucks just sitting on the floor. And this is where the earliest version of this route, the earliest Divergent takes place. Because I could go down to an area called the Bridge of Evil now, which has enemies which give a shard called Bunny Morphosis. It turns you into like a bunny girl that kicks things. That's how she does damage. And it's intelligence-based damage, and it's relatively good. It's about on par with the level 2 blue skies, which I'm wearing on my feet. But it's keyed off of intelligence, not strength. So you need different gear to make use of them. And it involves farming up their shard, which is not something I'm interested in doing if I don't have to. Fortunately, because I managed to get the level 2 blue skies early in the route, there's really no reason to go get Bunny Morphosis now. Because it's kind of a pain to farm up that shard with really low attack power, etc. This was the first area in the game, the first time I played it, that really excited me. Because they used the rotating tower motif here. I don't want to go this way. Where am I going? Back up top. It does weird things to the map, which is kind of interesting. Down here is where we want to go to get a box and to get an MP up. Really don't need to grab MP ups anymore. We have enough MP now that we're not going to run out of super kicks, the special un deux trois kicks at all. But we have them in case we want them. These bugs are just impossible to hit. I've tried killing them. I don't think I've ever killed one. That's not true. It's just they fly out of reach, and without shards to shoot at them, I've just become more adept at dodging them entirely. These werewolves put up a damage shield and block your attacks. And sometimes you can lock them into an attack pattern where you get your unkick out, and then they block, so you can't ever do the combo on them. But you're always out of their attack range. But it looks like these guys today are deciding to go for the attacks instead. I just want the HP ups over here. That's what I want. Actually, I also want this sword over here to sell for later. We may or may not need the gold, but again, better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So we'll take the Flying Edge. This is a really cool sword. if you use it in a vanilla run of the game. It's kind of similar to the Rune Sword or the Heaven Sword in Castlevania Symphony of the Night, where it like flies out in front of you a little ways. Oh, really cool weapon. We can't use it because we can't attach it to our feet. It'd be nice if Miriam would just tie swords to her feet, but I've asked her, and she won't. She says it's not ridiculous enough. This is an enemy that, on one version of the route, I used to have to farm, because it drops a type of meat for one of the strength increasing food items you can make. But I decided that takes just way too much time, so we're not going to do it. Cutscene. So I guess the story of the game is we're chasing this guy Geebles around, and there's all these other guys in the castle, and we're fighting each other because something anime nonsense. Even though all of these characters, Miriam and Alfredo and Geebles, were all friends in Curse of the Moon, I thought when Curse of the Moon came out, like it was going to be, actually I want to go this way, don't I? There's a treasure box I missed. I thought it was going to be like a prequel to Ritual. It was going to be like backstory, right? Turns out to not be the case. Turns out that the Curse of the Moon is just not canon at all. Hyperventilator's pretty good. Yeah, that's good for another point of defense. Word up. So it's kind of just a non-canon side story. Which, whatever, that's kind of a cool thing. Where you have like the main game, then you have like a non-canon game where all of these guys who are kind of jerks to each other and fight each other all the time are friends and they team up. That was one of the major strong points of Ritual of the Night the first time I played it. Is I really enjoyed train spotting. I really enjoyed finding all the parts of the game that I recognized from Curse of the Moon. Like lots of bosses. The boss we're about to fight, actually, and the boss after him, and the boss after him, too. And the boss after him, come to think. The next 4 bosses are all boss fights from Curse of the Moon. Vipar is not. The first, like, giant mermaid boss is not. But she's in Curse of the Moon, too, which is nice. I don't want to bring out all of these boxes, because some of them have little monkey bastards in them, and I don't want to mess with no little monkey bastard. So I try to not bring out any of those bookshelves unless I really have to. Because I'm not going downstairs there, I'm not getting the cookie recipe. There can't get any cookies in this run, I'm sorry. I have been clicking the cookie again. Cookie Clicker put out a new update. Do I want to equip this? It's an accessory, I don't think I want it. It's not an actual hat. So if you do need cookies in your life, that's my recommendation, is go play Cookie Clicker. Click the cookie as much as you want. Because Miriam does not know how to make them in this run. HP max up there. Okay, here's the first room where we're going to do some farming. Because eventually, these demon books will drop their green shard. Green shards are familiar shards. We'll be replacing our Silver Knight. End of the road for the Silver Knight. But the book familiar gives a passive strength up buff, which is good for kicking things to death. Also, one of them, I think, dropped the tome scrap, which means we're going to be able to upgrade them 1 level, which is nice. But when you farm in this game, you just zone in and out of the rooms. I actually find farming in this game, like for rare drops and things, to be pretty cathartic. Farming in this game is not terrible. The lowest possible drop rate for something is 1%, and that's before you get your luck bonuses and things. So there's nothing in the game that you're going to spend hours and hours and hours trying to find. Whenever you see the level up words in green, like that bright kind of aqua-ish color, instead of blue, that's my familiar leveling up instead of Miriam. You can actually level familiars up in 3 ways. They gain levels from experience points like you do, or if you get multiple copies of the same shard, each copy you get makes it more powerful. Or you can, in the crafting system, you can go to Johannes and give him the correct items and level up the shards that way. You can do that with every shard in the game, not just familiars. All we want from the familiar is the strength buff. That's really all I'm interested in here. There it is. So we can make that switch now. Familiar Dantalian. Ride the books on over. That didn't take too long. That was what, 6, 7 zones back through the room? That lady needs to put on pants. Ridiculous. Alright. Here's another little trick that I found. We're going to go in here and meet OD. OD is Alucard. Alucard is in this game. It's very shameless. But he will give you books. He's the librarian. He lets you check out these books which increase your stats. Look how much this might tool increases my attack power. But he only lets us have one book at a time.
Shoutouts to Jonathan Zia for sponsoring this video. If you liked the video and want to see more, please tickle my thumb, leave a friendly comment, and ring my little bell.